Hope you're having a terrific Tuesday. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Monique Robinson, and we had Ben Briscoe joining the 4 to 5 today. We'd love to have you.
Excited to be back. Thank you for watching us on WFOY News 2's Fire Stick, Roku, and the WFOY News 2 app. If you're tuning in from Facebook, give us a shout out in the comments and let us know you're here. In the meantime, let's get right to your top headlines today.
Right now, police in Chicago and a suburb are trying to determine a motive for the gunfire unleashed during a July 4th parade.
Just moments ago, we learned a 7th person has died from the shooter who perched on top of that rooftop. More than 24 others are wounded. Officials say the suspect then walked to his mother's house and drove away in her vehicle.
8 hours later, authorities arrested 21-year-old Robert Cremo III during a traffic stop. You can see his photo there. They found another rifle in his car and more legal firearms at his home in a nearby town. They believe he planned the attack for several weeks and acted alone.
Police recovered the rifle allegedly used in the shooting, and just like the ones in Uvalde and Buffalo, the mayor of Highland Park says it was legally obtained. The mayor also was among the crowd during the shooting. She said she has a past connection to the suspect.
I was his Cub Scout pack leader. He was a little boy at the time. I'm not sure what happened to him to compel him to commit this kind of evil in his hometown.
I don't know what motivates anyone to commit that kind of evil. Investigators say the suspect dressed in women's clothing, they believe to disguise his identity. Police say he blended in with the fleeing crowd. The victims range in age from 8 to 85. Many are still in the hospital with critical injuries.
Recent shootings across the nation are causing safety concerns here at home. We've talked about the methods of run, fight, and hide in closed spaces, like a grocery store or a classroom. But what about in large open spaces? What do you do if something like the tragedy in Illinois happens here? How are law enforcement prepared? Today, we took those questions to Corporal Butch Moore with the Forsyth County Sheriff's Office.
Well, as a department, we do use strategies that we're not going to discuss for obvious reasons, but every officer in North Carolina and every department has been trained in what we call rapid deployment. So the sheriff and the Department of Justice in North Carolina, all of us are fully prepared and equipped to handle these type of situations.
Corporal Moore says when you're out and about, keep what he calls a survival mindset. This doesn't mean walk around paranoid, but stay aware of your surroundings at all times. He'll dive deeper into quick thinking methods during chaotic situations, coming up on WFOY News 2 at 5.
So hot and sticky is not enough, Monique, huh? We have to have storms headed our way too?
Well, storms is what comes with it. You have the ingredients of hot and sticky, and those help to produce storms. So look at our sky cam in Burlington. You can see those flags waving. Much different picture than yesterday. This is all because storms moving through the area. Out ahead of them, they really send those gusty winds in. Keeping a close eye on this southern edge of Virginia and sort of our northern cities, towns, and counties. Mount Airy got the strongest storm over the past hour or so, but you can see it's weakened and now moving to the south around King. You're seeing some heavy rainfall there. But I want to keep your eyes just a little bit north ahead of you, because what you're going to see is more storms heading right in that same path. We call that training, where you have one storm that moves through and then another storm that moves through right in the same area once again. Now, I want to widen your view, because yesterday we were looking to the south in South Carolina where storms were active. Today, the location is Virginia and portions of Kentucky. I mean, look at this lightning. It is intense across the border of Kentucky and Virginia, as well as just right around Roanoke. Now, you do see this one severe thunderstorm warning with it. Now, we're not seeing any other warnings with this cluster of storms. But when we look to the DC, Virginia area, we do see a tornado warning as well as severe thunderstorm warning over there. Now, what we're going to have to keep a very close eye on is as these storms continue to move south, will they be severe? Will they be strong? Or will they weaken and just be a shower? That's a big question as we go over the next several hours. Now, the Storm Prediction Center has this all under a marginal risk level 1 for severe weather, which means all of us within this dark green that you're seeing on here could see a strong storm today. Our Futurecast paints the picture for us. Over the next couple of hours, we're going to see some of these showers and storms make their way through. So today, right now it's 4:04 p.m. Between now and about 8:30 p.m., we could see some storms make their way south and reach the central Piedmont. Those will continue to move south, and then after that, we'll just be dealing afternoon with some clear skies, few clouds sticking with us, maybe even some fog across the area. But tomorrow afternoon, we're doing the same thing again. We're keeping our eyes glued to the radar because we're looking at the possibility of storms for your Wednesday afternoon. Over the past several days, it has been hot, and the heat is going to return once again tomorrow. In fact, Wednesday being the hottest day of the week. I'll talk more about it coming up. But with today's storms, you're going to want to keep our free WFMY News 2 app close. It's easy to download from either the Apple Store or Google Play. There you'll have the latest weather updates at any time, wherever you go.
Let's get to your 4 to 5 roundup. Right now, a community in Triad is waiting at the whim of Mother Nature after a historic building collapsed overnight. The Mount Airy Fire Department says parts of the main Oak building fell around 4:30 this morning. It's located at the corner of Oak Street and Main Street, just a few blocks from the Andy Griffith Museum. Crews right now are assessing the damage and fear today's weather could hinder their efforts. A perimeter is currently set up around the area as city leaders encourage people to stay away. As far as what caused the collapse is still under investigation. The fire marshal says he walked through the building with architects 5 months ago and everything looked fine. Greensboro police say a man hit by two different vehicles has died. 39-year-old Travis Costin tried to cross the intersection near Creek Ridge Road in Lynnhaven Drive last night around 10. That's when he was hit by a pickup truck traveling east. Moments later, Costin was hit by another car heading in the same direction. Police say he died on scene. It's unclear if charges will be filed. This is a developing story. We will keep you posted. Right now, a person has serious injuries after an early morning shooting. Greensboro police say it happened just after 1 o'clock on South Elm Eugene Street. The victim was taken to a hospital, and at last check, they're still hospital, and at last check, they are still there. Right now, information about their identity is limited. If you know anything about the shooting, call Crime Stoppers. We'll be right back. We all know one person who rides on E, and when questioned, they say, I know my car, I'm good, chill out, we're not gonna crash, we're not gonna break down.
I don't believe it. With prices still hovering around $4 plus per gallon, people trying to pinch those pennies and use every last drop. But WFO News 2's Megan Malaris verifies if allowing your tank to get too low causes some dangers for your car.
It is time to verify. Running on E, trying to steer clear of high gas prices? Unfortunately, a towing cost will outweigh even the highest priced tank. But could there be another downside to letting your gas tank get too low? Let's verify. Viewer Lori Poe commented, "I heard it is not good to keep your gas tank lower than a quarter because of sludge or trash that could harm your car. Don't know how true that is, though." Well, Lori's question comes from the theory that sediment from the gas settles at the bottom of your tank. And when you don't have enough gas in your tank to stir up the sediment, it's likely to enter the fuel line. Is that true? Let's verify. Our sources for this are Cynthia Roy, certified auto technician and owner of Roy's Automotive in Greensboro, and Patrick DeHaan, head of petroleum analysis for Gas Buddy. They conclude the claim Lori heard is false.
That's something that may have been more accurate decades and decades ago, back when filtration and quality control was a little lax, back maybe in the 60s and 70s. But since then, there's so much filtration now. Your car has a fuel filter, stations have filters on pumps, oil refineries are checking every batch of gasoline shipped for impurities. So, it's not impossible that you may pick up a few microns of foreign substance every once in a while, but that shouldn't amount to much. There's really no danger now, even running out of gas.
Certified auto technician Cynthia Roy noted, quote, "The fuel pickup actually sits at the bottom of the fuel tank. If there is any sludge anywhere in the tank, it's already getting picked up, regardless of how full the tank is. The fuel filter removes any non-fuel elements before the fuel goes to the rest of the system." So in conclusion, the claim Lori heard is false. It's not bad for your car to let your gas tank get below a quarter, but it could be bad for you if you're running on E and there's no gas station nearby. Fuel analysts unfortunately expect an expensive summer ahead, so plan ahead with filling up. We verified some tried and tested gas hacks to save money. You can find them in the Verify page of our website, WFMYnews2.com. With your Verify, I'm Megan Malaris.
Hey, if there's any other claims you want us to verify, you know how to find us. Verify at WFMY.com. Okay, so it's not bad for your car, but it would give me a panic attack and anxiety driving around on E.
Not me.
Not me either.
Well,
I'm
mean,
that
not
person.
On E.
Y'all must have AAA. That's why.
Well, I do, but not on E. I mean, if I have to wait a little bit, and I'm like, I do the math. So, like when it says you have about 30 left and then it disappears when you actually reach below a certain point, I'm still waiting. I'm like, I got 20 more. So I do it all the time.
Yeah, I wait till my light turns on until I'm like, okay, I need to get gas. And I have the little tick marks. So I'll have 2 tick marks left. But for me, it's not about pinching, for pennies and saving money. I just don't like the process of getting gas. It's hot out there.
You don't like to watch a little TV screen and learn new
it's
vocabulary words?
It's a whole thing. Like sometimes I wish I lived in New Jersey,
I was gonna
where you're
say.
from, so people could just pump my gas for me. I'll even tip. I know it takes 5 minutes, but it's just a whole thing.
It is hard enough to find people to work in restaurants and all the other places. How are we going to find people to work at the gas pump?
But when you've grown up doing that for 18 years, and then all of a sudden they say you got to do it yourself, I'm like, why? So I'm like, Lauren, it's messy. You got to make sure you have the hand sanitizer.
And it's just hot and cold. I don't want to get out the car.
It's a cold mess in New Jersey. No one wants to get out and do that themselves.
Or in the heat. I'd rather just stay in my spot and just give it to someone else. We have blessed people who've made the decision to choose that job and help assist us.
Amen. Well, Ben's like,
you can't relate. Maybe come visit Jersey with me. Come visit Jersey.
Is this a gender thing? I always do get out to pump the gas.
No, it's not a gender thing.
Oh,
actually,
no matter
kind
what.
of is, because if I'm with my fiance or my dad or anything,
I just rather do it myself.
Nope.
Huh.
I'm just being lazy personally. It's not a gender thing for me. If I'm with my mom, Mama, you feel like pumping the gas?
Not mom.
No, Lauren.
Hey, my mom is Superwoman. She is Wonder Woman.
So
she
are
can do
you.
all things.
So are you. Believe in yourself.
I am, but when it comes to pumping gas, I just don't feel like being Superwoman.
Mom,
my mom is young
sorry.
and fine.
I'm sorry, Mom. You got Lauren out here sending you to pump the gas.
Yeah, when you say it that way, it sounds bad.
Let us know on Facebook. Do you think that's bad?
Let's go along to the next story.
Hey, if you're one of those people who do cut it close too often, North Carolina DOT offers free roadside assistance. If you get stranded with an empty tank, just dial *47. They'll help you out. We'll be right back.
The last 4 days, the high temperature in Greensboro has been 90 degrees on the dot. 90 on Friday, 90 on Saturday, 90 on Sunday, 90 yesterday. We've been in the 90s, and as we go through the next couple of days, the 90s are sticking with us. As we look at the temperatures across the southeast and even in portions of the mid-Atlantic, I want to just compare briefly the differences in temperatures between the Triad and areas just to the north of us. Right in Roanoke, the temperature is 80 degrees, and it's cooler there because that's where the storms are. Whenever it rains outside, very briefly in the summer, it does cool the air, and so that's why there's a significant difference in temperatures in this area as compared to areas surrounding it. Even in Asheville, temperatures at 89, and even looking further south in Columbia at 92. Along the coast, they're in the low 90s, which is much different compared to the last couple of days where they've been in the upper 90s. Now, the dew point's in the 70s, so it does feel like summer. It's sticky, it's humid, it feels like a sauna, and if you go anywhere south of us, it feels even worse as the summer-like heat is stretching further south. You can see this severe thunderstorm warning, this kind of large yellow polygon that you're seeing with this storm as it pushed down to the south, and this is the southern Virginia border. We are located right about here. All of this activity is going to continue to travel south, and so the question is, over the next couple of hours between now and about 8 p.m., should we see these storms or could we see these storms? And so that's what I'm going to keep a close eye on as these storms continue to develop. Some of them may weaken, some of them may stay strong. So as that happens, we're going to keep a close eye on it. This futurecast kind of showing that picture of that line moving through, but moving through weakly, and that will be between now and about 8 p.m. That line is going to push further south. Now, your start of the day Wednesday, we're getting sunshine, then we'll get some clouds, and then once again in the afternoon, we have that storm potential increasing. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has us under a slight 2 level risk for severe weather tomorrow. With any of those storms that will develop, we could see some strong gusty winds. Talking more about it with the 7-day when we get back.
Today is National Workaholics Day.
There's a day for everything.
Literally. It's a day to remind us to balance work and home life.
If you're someone who comes to work early, skips your lunch, or stays late, this day is dedicated to you, Lauren Coleman, and everyone else. Experts say the solution for workaholics is to take a step back, regroup, and just slow down a little bit.
That's some good advice. So I asked you on my Facebook page, what do you do to decompress after work? Nolan Hyman says, some time talking with the wife and 30 minutes of an enjoyable, not challenging video game. Akira Johnson says, exercising, wine, shop.
Like those.
Love it. Wayne Hill wrote, go for a walk with my dogs or alone. Nancy Crabtree says, I love to read or work on a puzzle. Raymond Lewis, sit in my Tahoe in my driveway with music and an ice cold canned Sprite. Now,
Every dad identifies with that one.
I can get with that minus the Sprite part, but sometimes when I come home from work, I just sit in my car for like 20, 30 minutes, just sitting there, sometimes just looking at Instagram, not looking at anything. It's just kind of like you got to get in the right mental space before walking up the stairs. You know, you got to cook and all those kind of things.
Because you want to leave the problems of the day at work and not take them home with you. I totally get it.
Yeah.
I also just not ready to walk.
Yes.
You know, after you're driving for a long time and you just want to sit for a second and just like breathe. Because I do that after I go grocery shopping or anything. I just take a minute to just like, all right, now we gotta, now
I gotta carry all these bags to the third floor. Don't want to do it, but.
Y'all, I have an extreme solution for being a workaholic.
What?
I was a terrible workaholic, like all growing up and in college. And I actually got a tattoo that's a yin yang to remind me to have balance in my life.
Where is this tattoo?
That is
may
a
I
secret
ask?
that I can never tell.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I think what I do.
Learn something new every day.
There's not really too much you can do when you get off work at 11:30, but I think one of the main things I do is I'll take like a really hot shower.
Oh, I
just
like
kind of
that.
after work. I always, and especially with COVID, I'm real big on like being clean. So the first thing I do when I get home, I really try to just make sure I take a hot shower.
One of the things I like to do is, you know, we're telling the news all day, reading headlines, we're talking about story ideas. When I get home, I kind of like to get away from that and just watch reality TV, junk TV, binge watch shows, Real Housewives, you know, anything that doesn't have to do with this just for a couple of hours. Because, you know, we're constantly getting the emails, and as journalists, we're always thinking about the next story idea, but you have to escape that life.
Part of the secret, I think, to stopping being a workaholic too is realizing that when you're not working around the clock, you're so much more productive when you are at work. When you have that recharged energy.
That's why I believe in mental health days. You know, sometimes you just need to step away and just have a day to yourself, just to sleep in, go for a walk, get chores done around the house. Like, I think that that's so important. I'm kind of hoping in the future that, you know, a lot of industries will move in that direction, because your mental health is just important as your physical health.
Yes, for sure. I think that's something that a lot of people are understanding with what's going on in this world, is that we need to make sure we're being cognizant of people's mental health and allowing them to have that break and that freedom. Even our company have a great opportunity for us to have access to that. And I think more people just tapping into that is really helpful.
Yeah, taking advantage of those resources. But today on U Day, Coach Lamont continues our self-care conversation with a reminder to protect our thinking. Let's check it out.
We need a system, an immediate system, which will determine if the thoughts we are thinking and that we are processing are actually beneficial to our lives, or will they lead us down a path of mental calamity. We have a tendency at times to allow our minds to wander, and a mind that wanders is a mind that will lead us to places we can struggle to escape. It is imperative that every thought be evaluated. Just because you think it doesn't mean the thought has to remain. It's time to take ownership over your mind and cease from allowing the wrong ideas to fill the void where the new ideas should live. Your mind should not be used as a place to keep you in bondage, but a place that leads you to freedom. If you use your mind this way, watch the thoughts you'll bring into this world. This is Coach Lamont. Make today your best U Day. I'll see you tomorrow.
Mike check, Jalen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Michaela, what's up? How you doing today?
Hey everyone, welcome back to your 4 to 5. I'm Lauren Coleman here with Monique Robinson and Ben Briscoe.
Thank you so much for joining us. As the wind is picking up out there, storms are just starting to move into our area, Monique.
Yeah, folks in Mount Airy are hearing storms now. In fact, this one storm that's moving through portions now of Patrick County and even Carroll County now has over 163 lightning strikes with it. This severe thunderstorm warning has just popped up over the last couple of minutes, and it's continuing until about 5:30. I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer. Look at all this lightning with this storm that's pushing through. This yellow polygon right here is the area of concern. Mount Airy just saw a thunderstorm about an hour or two ago, around 2:30. Now 2 hours later, in the same exact spot, you're about to get more heavy rainfall, immense lightning. Your skies are already probably starting to darken. This is what I'm talking about here. All of this widespread lightning. We're talking a very loud, very heavy downpour storm that's pushing its way through. This isn't the only place though that's been dealing with storms over the past couple of hours. As we continue to look at this storm, we're going to start to see storms pushing through, and I'll have more details on it coming up.
Right now, we are expecting an update from Highland Park, Illinois.
That's the Chicago suburb where a gunman opened fire from a rooftop during a 4th of July parade. Right now, they're giving an update. Let's listen in.
McCarthy of Highland Park, 37-year-old Kevin McCarthy of Highland Park, 63-year-old Jacqueline Sundheim of Highland Park, 88-year-old Stephen Strauss of Highland Park, 78-year-old Nicholas Toledo Zaragoza of Morelos, Mexico. We have also been notified that there is a 7th victim that died at a hospital located outside of Lake County. I will now give the microphone to the Mayor of Highland Park, Mayor Nancy Rodering.
The Highland Park community, like so many before us, is devastated. It is impossible to imagine the pain of this kind of tragedy until it happens in your backyard. Our focus the last 36 hours has been on the perpetrator of this heinous crime. As we now put the names and faces of those lost yesterday, family, friends, guests, longtime residents of the Highland Park community, our focus shifts to the victims and those left behind. This crisis has devastated entire families and our community in a single moment, and we know it will take time to heal. On behalf of the community and the world that mourns alongside us, I offer loved ones of those who passed our condolences. I thank those who have organized prayer vigils to help support the weight of our shared sorrow. We've listed those on our website, and while we're hurting, we know that we will continue to come together and support each other as we always do in difficult times. We are Highland Park strong.
Thank you, Mayor. There were some questions at our last press briefing about prior contacts that law enforcement may have had with Crimo III. We've done some research, gathered some reports, and I'm going to relay some information from two prior instances that occurred here in Highland Park. The first was in April of 2019. An individual contacted Highland Park Police Department a week after learning of Mr. Crimo attempting suicide. This was a delayed report, so Highland Park still responded to the residents a week later, spoke with Crimo, spoke with Crimo's parents, and the matter was being handled by mental health professionals at that time. There was no law enforcement action to be taken. It was a mental health issue handled by those professionals. The second occurred in September of 2019. A family member reported that Crimo said he was going to kill everyone, and Crimo had a collection of knives. The police responded to his residence. The police removed 16 knives, a dagger, and a sword from Crimo's home. At that time, there was no probable cause to arrest. There were no complaints that were signed by any of the victims. The Highland Park Police Department, however, did immediately notify the Illinois State Police of the incident. Shifting gears a little bit, talking about the investigation itself. The community has been absolutely terrific with providing information to law enforcement investigators throughout this. But we're asking the community to, if they're able to dig a little deeper and recall some specific instances from the event, based on video surveillance recovered by our investigators, we're very certain that there was a female witness who saw Crimo drop an object inside of a red blanket behind Ross's at 625 Central Avenue immediately following the shooting. We've not been able to identify this witness yet, but we're asking, if you are the witness and you are hearing this, please call 800, call FBI. Investigators really would like to speak to you about this. We're also asking that anyone with any firsthand information about Crimo relevant to this investigation also call 800, call FBI. Please keep in mind, though, we're asking for firsthand information that could be relevant, that could help investigators. We're not asking for third-party information or information heard through the grapevine, only if it's firsthand knowledge that you have. To update the victim count, including those that have perished, there are approximately 45 injured or deceased from this incident. At about 5:30 this evening, the state's attorney's office will be holding a press conference, and we anticipate an announcement of charges at that time. With that, we'll take some questions.
Chief, so going to this September incident, obviously people are going to look at this and say, well, this could have been an opportunity to stop what we saw here. Your view on that, and how are these things supposed to be handled? How do you stop a shooter if someone's calling police saying, hey, we have a problem?
So the question is the response to the September incident. The police responded there. Police can't make an arrest unless there is probable cause to make an arrest or somebody is willing to sign complaints regarding the arrest. Absent of those things, the police don't have power to detain somebody. Now, if there is an issue where there is the necessity to involuntarily commit somebody to the hospital, that's an option, but that wasn't an option at that time. That it didn't fall in that category. But nonetheless, Highland Park Police did notify the Illinois State Police of that.
But as a law enforcement professional, you see someone who has...
You just heard the police chief from Highland Park, that Chicago suburb, say that the suspected shooter had a history of mental illness, and there was a former complaint where he came out and said he wanted to kill everyone in 2019. Much more about this expected to come out later tonight.
Yeah, certainly a devastating story. We will continue our coverage both on air and online. Stick with WFNY News 2 for continued coverage on this story. Right now, we want to get to our 4 to 5 roundup. Right now, a Triad community is waiting at the whim of Mother Nature after a historic building collapsed overnight. The Mount Airy Fire Department says parts of the main Oak building fell around 4:30 this morning. It's located at the corner of Oak Street and Main Street. That's just a few blocks from the Andy Griffith Museum. Crews are assessing the damage and fear today's weather could hinder those efforts as they try to stabilize and figure out what happened.
Most of the time, these older buildings, when they fail, they just have catastrophic failure. They just fail. The newer construction has a little more twist and give to it. Like your skyscrapers, they're made to twist and flex. So it is a different animal when you're dealing with this.
A perimeter is currently set up around the area as city leaders encourage people to stay away. Greensboro police say a man hit by 2 different vehicles has died. 39-year-old Travis Costin tried to cross the intersection near Creek Ridge Road and Lynn Haven Drive last night around 10. That's when he was hit by a pickup truck traveling east. Moments later, he was also hit by a car heading in the same direction. Police say he died on scene. It's unclear if charges will be filed. This is a developing story. We will keep you posted.
The wife of WNBA star Brittany Griner says she can no longer be silent. Today she appeared on CBS Mornings just a day after Griner sent a letter directly to the White House. Since February, the basketball player has remained in a Russian jail after officials allegedly discovered vape cartridges containing cannabis in her luggage. Griner wrote to President Joe Biden saying she's terrified she might be there forever.
She doesn't say words like that lightly. That means she truly is terrified that she may never see us again. And, you know, I share those same sentiments.
Federal officials say they're doing everything to bring Griner home, but her wife says she's waiting on a direct response from the president. Griner's trial resumes Thursday.
The overturning of Roe v. Wade is still being felt across the country as states figure out what this means for abortion services. As states continue to pass laws, many people are asking what resources are available for expecting mothers in need of help here in the Triad. I spoke with the YWCA of Greensboro to find out what its Teen Parent Mentor program is all about.
19-year-old Tanya Davis loves being a mother to her 4-month-old baby girl. Early on in her pregnancy, she said she did face some challenges when it came to resources and support.
For me, my parents live all the way in Oklahoma, so it was kind of like having a family for me and a support system. So a support system is one of the biggest things that is important, I believe, throughout pregnancy, even with raising the child.
That's when her daughter's grandmother referred her to the YWCA of Greensboro's Teen Parent Mentor program. The program serves mothers ages 19 and younger.
Once I joined YWCA, I now had a support system. I now had a way of getting resources I had no clue about financially, you know, for food, housing, also just friends in general.
The Teen Parent Mentor program was established in 1984, but has since evolved. Program Director Brianna Grant says participants benefit from positive encouragement through case managers and mentors who help teen mothers succeed in school.
Because they may be in school, they may want to go back to school, their goals are endless. And so our goal is to allow them to see, yes, you had a mistimed pregnancy. It may not be convenient for you right now. You may not looking at the positive side, but your story doesn't end there, and we're here to help you see that.
In addition to academic assistance, teen mothers are provided with doula support, clothes, diapers, and more.
Through all of those things, they're able to put their focus somewhere else. They may be thinking their first thing is like, okay, I'm pregnant, I don't have a car seat. Don't worry about that, we got you. Let's focus on the other things that we can tackle right now.
Since joining the YWCA, Tanya continues to excel. She's currently in her junior year at Winston-Salem State University with plans to achieve a doctorate degree in occupational therapy.
But the thing is we can do it. We have enough resources to do it. And the way you get it might be hard, but it's there. So use it.
The YWCA Teen Parent Mentor Program is always looking for mentors and volunteers. They do require a 1-year commitment. For details on how to get involved, just look for this story on our website, WFMYnews2.com.
The Wyndham Championship is right around the corner at Setfield Country Club, and it is being teed up for success already, Jalen.
Yeah, Ben, you're absolutely right. In 2019, JT Poston won his first career PGA Tour event right here in Greensboro after collecting his second win this weekend at the John Deere Classic. Today, Poston announced that he will be returning to Greensboro for this year's Wyndham Championship. Now, this will be Poston's 5th career start at the Wyndham, and this year's Wyndham Championship is set for August 3rd through the 7th. And the Hickory, North Carolina native is looking to become just the second two-time winner in the championship's history. The first to do that was Brant Snedeker. He won in 2007 and 2018. Now, last year's winner, Kevin Kisner, he earned $1.2 million with that win, and this year's winner will most likely bring in close to that number. Today's announcement from Poston makes him the first player to join the field for this year's tournament. So we'll be looking forward to that August 3rd through the 7th. Your 45 will be right back.
Hey, friendly friends. Ice cold milk and an Oreo cookie, they forever go together like a classic combination. Okay, we just had what's called a bank holiday weekend, right? And a bank holiday weekend usually means a day off, right? That Friday or that Monday of the weekend. What else does it mean?
Sales.
It does. And are you in for the sales?
Sometimes I am, depending on if there's something special I want.
I've spent my entire life loving all of these sales.
I know.
So much. Like I went with my grandparents, I went with my mom. And now that I'm older, I'm trying to step back from all of them.
Yeah. From the sales.
Yeah, I don't want to spend as much money.
Okay. Well, this story's not for you.
It
does mean sales, friends.
It is really hard not to, so I probably am still interested in
All right,
this
how
story.
about this? You care about the sale if you need something,
Yes.
not just want something.
Absolutely.
See, I told you, if there's something special I like, then I care about the sales.
Okay, this is what we're going with. It means sales. Consumer Reports looks at the hot deals in July and its big ticket items.
The Ghost Bed Queen Memory Foam Mattress is now on sale for $977. That's $400 off. Consumer Reports says this foam mattress earns top marks in its test for petite back sleepers. This is the LG refrigerator. It's now $700 off the list price. It's $3,098 at the Home Depot. It is one of the best French door refrigerators that CR tested in 2022. The last big ticket item on the list, the LG washing machine, now $599 at Best Buy, the Home Depot, and LG. And get ready because the best deals on all kinds of things come July 12th and 13th.
In the middle of July, we have Amazon Prime Day. It's one of the best times to shop of the year. You'll see deals comparable to Black Friday, and not just at Amazon. Other major retailers will have sales as well.
Okay, so this girl just said that she never participates in Prime Day.
I'm shocked.
All right, so hold that
I'm
thought.
not really huge on online shopping, actually.
Okay. Our 4 to 5 producer, though, is interested in Prime Day and all things Echo. So if you are too, I want you to keep this in mind. The Amazon Echo Show 10 smart speaker is a Consumer Report Best Buy. It's currently $250. Keep in mind that this price is probably going to drop for Prime Day,
sure it will.
along with other Amazon devices like home security cameras, routers, all the things.
Good luck with the shopping. Hey, if you're trying to give it up by me, listen to my 2 cents coming up in a minute. I got a good trick for you.
All right, it's getting busy across Southern Virginia. We now have 2 severe thunderstorm warnings in our area. So let's take a look. This line of strong storms pushing in through Mount Airy. Now we have another line of strong storms now pushing in through Danville, both of which have immense lightning. This one nearly over 150. This one about 200. These are loud storms that are pushing their way through. Let's zoom in a little bit closer to this one across Mount Airy that has the severe thunderstorm warning with it. It's moving to the south and east at 15 miles per hour with wind gusts upwards of 60. So this is a strong storm pushing through. It's loud. It's heavy rainfall with it heading right towards Pilot Mountain and going to continue to push further south. Now, as we draw our eyes over to the one in Danville, you can also see those storms are going to continue to push to the south. Now, I want to make my way over to the 7-day. We really haven't gotten a chance to soak it all in throughout this show, so I want to give you guys time to look at it. 90s over the next couple of days, Wednesday being the hottest day of the week at 93. Tomorrow and Thursday, both of which have a slight risk for severe storms in the afternoon, meaning we could see strong storms on both days. May not be the same picture as today, but it will be some nasty storms on both of those days and through the weekend. So with today's storms, tomorrow's storms, and the next one, you're going to want to download that free WFMY News 2 app from the Apple Store or Google Play. There you'll have the latest weather updates at any time and wherever you go.
You know I love 4th of July. I love the food. You know, you got the barbecue, the burgers, all that.
It's all so yummy.
It's all so yummy. So this got us thinking, what food can you not get enough of? Because I can't get enough of cookout food. So I asked you on my Facebook page, what's a food you can't get enough of? Annette Pegler says buffalo chicken dip. Deborah Johnson wrote sushi and crab
fancy
legs.
cookout.
Yes. Vanjie Anderson, it says, is coffee considered a food? Because that's my answer.
At the cookout?
Davis Orange, not just cookout food, just foods in general. Davis Orange says hamburgers with everything on it. Valerie Epperson said watermelon is my addiction.
Oh, that's a good one. Then you get hydrated.
Yeah, that's a good one for the summer, especially with how hot it's been.
Yeah. I've learned that watermelon and cucumber both are water based, so both of those have a lot of water. And celery as well.
And cantaloupe is good too.
Good.
Right now, this week, I'm addicted to something that I cooked up over 4th of July. Some grilled okra.
Ooh.
Oh, it's got blackening seasoning on it, and I'm about to run out of leftovers, and I'm so sad.
You're like thinking about that. That's been on your mind while reading the stories. My favorite thing is salmon. Like, I could not get enough of salmon. You can cook it in so many different ways. You can grill it, you can bake it, you can fry it, you can make a sandwich out of it, you can put a salad. Like, it's so good. And you know I like salmon.
Ready for the infomercial, right?
Yeah, I know exactly the place where she gets it from all the time. Shrimp is what I'm going to turn into one day.
Y'all like expensive food.
Shrimp?
I like salmon.
Salmon?
Yeah.
Sushi
Salmon,
too,
yeah,
is
you're
another
right.
one I
If you're
can't
gonna
get
like a
enough of.
food that you just can't get enough of, pick a cheap one. Do yourself a favor.
I mean, if I like some high class food.
Hey.
I like some high class food.
Yes, and it's good protein.
That is
Was
true.
it omega-3s? Yeah, so.
Let us know on Facebook what you think. We'll be right back.
A grant from the federal government could generate about $80 million for Davidson County. The Secretary of Commerce gave $1.3 million to Davidson County.
Mic check 1 2 3. Mic check 1 2 3. Oh, I brought the wrong clicker. Dang it.
A big line of storms closing in on the Triad.
With cases on the rise.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We had fun.
This 4th of July, I was bombarded with emails trying to sell me stuff. From Happy 4th of July, final hours to save, to Red, White, and Cruise, and Stars, Stripes, and Savings. For years, well, really decades, I would get a high from these kinds of sales. But nowadays, as we celebrate the 4th, I'm thinking more about what true independence means. A big part of that is avoiding clutter in the house and being debt-free. Instead of more stuff I don't need, I want the savings account where I got the ability to go on a spontaneous trip if the occasion arises, or have the cash in case the fridge goes out. Knock on wood for that one. Either way, that means saying no to all these sales going on. And boy, is it tough. After years of training my brain to love bargain hunting, it's so tempting to fall back into old habits. So during part of my time off this holiday, I searched the word unsubscribe in my inbox and took myself off the mailing list of more than 30 companies. I know when the occasion rises that I actually need something again, I'll find a good deal online. In the meantime, I don't want companies constantly pushing me to shop. If you feel yourself agreeing with any of this, there's this incredibly informative question and answer segment we did with two fantastic money coaches. I put that up on my Facebook page. Just search Watchdog Ben. It will help you out. That's my 2 cents. WFMY News 2 at 5 starts right now.
Closing in on the Triad right now, so parts of our area can expect strong winds and heavy rain.
Monique, that radar is just totally lighting up out there, even though Greensboro's not seen anything yet.
I mean, if you're in Greensboro, you're probably like, what are you talking about? But if you are in Stokes County,